Good morning, everybody. You're tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Emran, your host for the next 2 hours, along with Nick.
Hey, how are you?
Good morning. And Spence is here.
What?
Good morning.
What?
And Gal is here.
I'm here too.
Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by Vmix Software, Telestream's Wirecast software, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. Welcome back to the show, everybody.
It's a pleasure to be back.
Spence sounds a lot better. Feels a
feel
lot better. He's back to his old self.
He sounds a lot further from Alaska now.
That's right. Getting it out of my system here. Burn my butt this week outside working. Not burning, but it got hot. It's tough living 60-degree days up there. Oh, the picture in the background, this is actually sunrise at one of the lodges that I stay at. Or take people to, I should say.
You mean in Alaska?
In Alaska, yeah. That's Mount Drum in the background. 12,000-foot mountain in the Wrangell mountain range.
Oh, that's nice to wake up to this kind of view.
Oh, yeah. It's just, it's amazing. Every day it looks different.
Now you're back to the grind.
Yeah, well, I can look off in the distance and see the rolling hills of Pittsburgh. Not that that's bad. The high point, if you go up Route 64, going on the overpass over 55, that's kind of a little before that, going over Salem Street. That's kind of the high point on the road. You can actually see off in the distance, maybe about 15 miles. It's better than being in Chicago, where everything is so flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else is going on? Nothing.
Did you see the parody about Facebook's new EULA saying that if you use Facebook, you agree to be a soldier in the Facebook army fighting against control?
No.
It's great. Somebody put it out there saying that you agree to be mobilized at any moment to go out and fight for, the freedom of Facebook, not to be subverted by government control.
Oh, yeah, I've got something.
Right. Yeah, Nick.
So I haven't talked about it yet because it wasn't official. So I started a new job last week, and I am now in the what is known as the managed service provider field. So the company I'm working for provides IT, email, and things like that to other businesses.
So SaaS, CaaS, all those things, like software as a service.
Yeah.
Service.
So like, we pretty much resell like 365 and antivirus software and manage all their systems and whatnot. So it's.
Are you a provider or are you a publisher?
We're a provider. We're not.
Oh, I'm being facetious.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think none of our tools are unique. I mean, we're using.
So you're not going to be accused of being a publisher.
No. So we're they're just dealing with tickets and support and Windows updates and email blacklists and whitelists and and all that fun stuff.
The
So-
most important question you'll ever ask is, when did it last work?
Well, some of these tools that we've got are just incredible. The remote control tool that we use has got unbelievable statistics. You can see what users logged in, the IP, the DNS server. It's pretty nuts. And you can even work on you can restart services and end tasks remotely. It's pretty nuts. So
Surveillance.
Oh, good luck.
surveillance. Yeah, no, it's not so. I mean, these people are paying for it. I mean, it's we're not
So
installing it.
the remote control is so good, you have a camera over the shoulder of the user, and you can actually make his hand come up and do things,
Yeah,
like a puppet.
I mean, yeah. Hey, click on this button. So that's a little bit of a change.
No, it's really nice that Nick is excited about it.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
That's-
I think I'll be able to. It'll be cool for the show too. I'll have
Yeah, all kind of different
Different things
situations.
to-
Yeah,
different
absolutely. I
things
didn't think
to
about
add
that.
and-
Good.
But you'll also have a well-rounded resume.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a couple certs, and it'll be good. It'll be real good.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
And he got a company phone, and he's got a company car, and I mean, it's
It's a Yugo, the company car.
Yeah. It's actually one of Amnon's deuces. It's wrapped.
All right.
he's gonna go out in the field.
They know you're coming. That's for sure.
Yeah, roll up in front of the front of the place.
What the hell was that sound? That's support.
Yeah, hello. Hold on, my bag's in the back.
Have you turned it off and on again?
I did. So this is pretty funny. So the first support ticket I tried doing was a simple malware removal. Very simple. Malwarebytes is already installed on the computer. So I run Malwarebytes, and at the end, it restarts the computer. Well, the computer blue screens on restart.
Oh,
Fun.
Yeah. So I just had to call the person and be like, can you just restart it? And then it came back on. So, yeah, not ideal.
Nope.
But what are you gonna do?
This, Nick, is the internet.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, of course. I've run Malwarebytes a trillion times. And the first time I run it in a professional environment, it freaking blue screens the computer.
Nothing is ever as it appears.
Never.
You walk
Yeah.
in, and person calls you for an issue, and you find when you get there, it's like, what are you talking about? It's, oh, this is I really called about this. Like, and I could tell you stories about my service days coming in, some of the hysterically funny things that we would run into. We trade stories about it. The space bar one. I won't get into it, but one about the space bar and why certain people with their physical characteristics cause there to be extra spaces when they're typing. Let's leave it at that.
listen to this. Listen to this. People can now type nearly as fast on a screen as they can on a keyboard.
Accurately?
Researchers made the discovery during a study of typing skills in which more than 37,000 volunteers from 160 countries took a speed and accuracy test on their mobile phones. Now, typing on a keyboard, what is the average speed? And you're using all 10 fingers on it. I don't know what is the secretary. It's like a good secretary types it.
Secretary, 90, I think. No, 90 words per minute. That's a secretary.
But using all 10 fingers, the positions on the keyboard, where you
Yeah.
actually are using. Yeah. I
And
haven't done
here
that
you
in a
do
long
it with
time.
what? 2 fingers, right? On a phone?
Yeah.
Oh, one thumb.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but you got to remember the travel's way less.
Yeah, but
There's no
still.
travel. Keyboard's 6 times as long as a phone is.
Swiping, right? Using swipe.
Well, the other thing too about accuracy is a lot of the I don't know how this test worked, but the phone does a lot of autocorrecting. I very frequently misspell words and the phone just corrects them automatically. You don't have to go back and change.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, but do you trust the phone?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
you
I mean,
remember? You remember
if you're
the?
I
typing
never
fast,
trust the phone.
if you're typing fast and you say like this THIS and you put THSI, the phone will almost 99% of the time will correct that as
Yeah, my
as this.
problem is different characters. So I switched off autocorrect.
Oh no,
I
lifesaver.
prefer that the misspelling will be sent rather than what the autocorrect thought it was, and then I have no idea what I typed.
Yeah, this is the story, but the guy that got shot because he texted his friend next door that he broke into his house and used his wife. Actually, he used his Wi-Fi, but the phone changed it to wife. You know,
Oh.
So I just totally misspelled system. I typed in SYSTMS
yeah.
and it corrected it to system.
Right,
which is-
that's not my problem. My problem
is your problem?
usually it won't be system. It would be DYSYTEM.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Well, that's what you get for having an Android phone. Crappy autocorrect.
I was just gonna say.
no, actually, the autocorrect that's
I'm
provided
joking.
by
I'm
the
joking.
yeah.
I
It's
have
just
to
I don't
review.
trust.
I have
I'll
to
tell you
review what
when-
I type.
I'll tell you when I stopped doing that. That was a long time ago. I typed a message for somebody saying I was on a WebEx. So WebEx is like the
Mhm.
remote session. It was in Hebrew, and there is no relationship between the two words. But it sent him during the homosexuality, like a huge word instead of the WebEx, which was what I started to write.
Well,
And
were they
and
both
I clicked
accurate
send.
statements?
And I clicked send, right?
Yeah.
And it says, "What the crap?" No, I don't. I never trust auto.
So
I'll
what
do
was
correct
what did
that.
you send the guy? I'm not homosexuality.
No, it's like during the WebEx, I did something, right? During homosexuality. What's the relationship between two words? Even in Hebrew, there's no relationship. From that
Wow.
point, yeah, that was
Fine.
like this short 5-letter words with a 10-letter word. It decided that it's supposed to be there.
So I guess depending on what the typing test was and what words they were having you type probably varies on.
Yeah, let's put it this way. I've never used that word in any context on that phone before, right? And somehow I
yeah.
decided this was the common word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this is some type of push where they're trying to set an agenda by saying, well, every time somebody mistypes, put this word there.
Alan is saying something. My newly friend nephew nearly was sent. Hope your flight went down. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's oh boy.
Look, the screen we're typing on, completely flat. It has no feedback whatsoever other than buzzing, right?
Mhm.
And so just the fact that autocorrect works some of the time is still amazing because there is no way for the keyboard to actually know what you meant to type. And still the prediction rate is rather high, right? But still
It's that one or two.
trusting it, I'm not so sure.
I'll tell you where autocorrect really fails hardcore is with acronyms. When you try like DIY, FYI, things like that, I'll notice a whole bunch of times it will change one of those acronyms or something mostly 3-letter acronyms to like a full word that is totally irrelevant.
Yeah. So what I reverted to was I'm writing whatever I'm writing, then I'm reading it, fixing the typos, which is easy. Using the autocorrect to fix the typo, just choosing instead of letting it choose on its own, and it works perfectly for me. But typing on the fly and just trusting that it'll be okay, no, no way.
Yeah, I've
Or-
never
or
had like
doing-
I'm not submitting myself completely to a computer.
I've never had one of those crazy. You always see those memes online or jokes online where somebody like says something awful in like a serious situation with autocorrect. I've never had that happen.
Yeah,
Well,
but
you're-
I've
you're-
seen it choose wrong words.
Yeah,
but you're reasonably aware of your surroundings, Nick. A lot of people aren't.
that's true.
I use dictation sometimes,
Oh yeah, that's good
And-
stuff.
and that always has to be correct. Not that it says bad things. It's just that it's like, wow, what? I didn't mean
Yeah.
to say that.
I'm pretty disappointed with the dictation on iOS. It sucks. I mean, I don't think I've ever if you go over like 2 sentences worth of stuff, you spend freaking 5 minutes trying to move words around to make
Yeah.
the sentence. It's a real pain in the ass. It's very disappointing
And there are
because
some
everything else
words-
is good.
Some words it just cannot get, and they're
Yeah.
not, and they're everyday words.
Oh, and names too.
No.
I'm atrocious with names.
That is your fault. You're not enunciating correctly.
Okay.
The computer can't understand what you're saying.
So I 2 nights ago, I sent my father a text message. I was cooking, so I had like stuff in my hands, and I was listening to something on my computer over here. So I hit, hey, phone, text Mike Craig, and I was trying to say Bob Costas, the announcer for baseball. That's what we were talking about, and it mangled it like 3 times. I was like, screw this.
But the thing I find with these AI helpers, right? They're all basically versions of AI helpers. Is the simple thing that we do as human beings is we say a word and then we spell it out, right? The dictation software, instead of understanding that we're spelling out the last word, just writes down the letters as we spell them, right? So it mangles up the word that we said, and then it writes down spelling of the letter, but it doesn't help, right? And
Yeah.
these are already supposed to be these smart machines that understand things from context and stuff. They're not there yet. That's all. And it's it seems to me like in computer and problem solving, this specific thing is a simple problem to solve, and yet here it is. We're still stuck with it.
Just give it time. I mean, I remember in the
Yeah.
early days, Dragon Dictate was. I mean, it was unusable. I mean, yet they sold a lot of them, and I don't know, 6, 7 years later, people were swearing by it because it got to be better and better and better. So, but yeah,
They still sell?
the phones have been out there for a long time. So why not? I don't know. But it's interesting. Here's something. It's the beginning of something maybe. Disney is banning advertising from Netflix across its entertainment TV networks, according to the Wall Street Journal, citing people familiar with the matter. It's a sign that the marketing wars over streaming video are escalating as media giants battle each other for subscribers. Disney, Comcast, and AT&T are set to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on advertising over the next year to attract consumers to their new streaming video services as they look to compete with industry juggernaut Netflix. Netflix spent $1.8 billion on advertising last year. Gosh, $1.8 billion. And will be playing defense against Hollywood's new entrants. Disney, whose properties include ABC and Freedom, earlier this year put out an edict to staffers that it wouldn't accept ads from any rival streaming services, but later reversed course and found a compromise with nearly every company. The people familiar with the situation said the exception was Netflix. So everybody is afraid to allow Netflix to advertise on their network, but I think Netflix at this point is a household name. Not that Disney is not, but Netflix is the only thing that I can see that they can do to attract more people is maybe lower the price.
Or fire the Obamas for being on the board.
Oh, they are?
Oh, Netflix, big deal. Yeah, absolutely. They're part. That was one of their paybacks from. So I don't know what they did exactly, but Netflix. Yeah, they're now major producers on Netflix.
Really?
Yep. Original content. Yep, they're like vice presidents or something like that. Did you see? Did anybody notice? I mean, I wasn't a big user of the Drudge Report anymore. I have so many other sites. That would be one of the sites I might go to on a irregular basis. But something happened, and now the whole content of the Drudge Report page has shifted.
100%. Yeah.
100%.
On Friday, there was a whole bunch of news out, and without getting political, Friday, there was like new good jobs reports and all this other stuff. And Drudge has like lost his mind. He seems like he hates Trump. I don't know what's going on.
And I found out, I did some research on it. And it turns out that he had owned his own advertising company.
Yeah.
And his father had a webpage, some resource webpage. And apparently they sold this stuff. And now he's not involved, or supposedly he's not as involved with the page as he used to be. And now that's why you've seen things make a dramatic shift. Yeah, so I still haven't really figured out what the real story is there, but something definitely changed, and they think it had something to do with the sale of his own, because he made money off every click, and in a big way. And what I never liked about his is the refresh. He would count if you stayed on that page, it would refresh. What was it, Nick? Like every 45 seconds or so?
No, every couple minutes.
Yeah, but whatever it was, every time it refreshed, it counted as a new user.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
that's in his statistics.
That's
so
the
his statistics
old
are always skewed.
Yeah.
So, I hated it because you might be looking at a section of the page and it would refresh back to the main screen again. And I never liked that.
Well, fortunately, the site is so small that the refreshes didn't really.
Yeah, because it was designed for text.
Yeah,
but I had used several different aggregators on my phone, and some of them were good and some of them were bad. And I recently switched to one called the Report, TR, and that is an aggregator that lets you choose from a bunch of different sites and have the news feeds come up just as text and let you click down through from there. I forget what the other one was. There was another one that I liked, and it was Simply Lines. It was called. I used it for years, and now it went away. But the Report is a good way to get aggregation. So lately, I've been using things like What Finger News. It's pretty good, and there's another new one called Rantingly, which is kind of like in the style of Drudge, where it's a lot of just text. You don't have a lot of graphics built in. Pretty good aggregators of news. Oh, well.
Gene sent me an article last week from the North Carolina Sheriff magazine, I guess, newsletter from the North Carolina Sheriff's Association, which is interesting. I think it applies to every county, every state, every city. Criminals across the country are around the globe are working around the clock to steal your money and obtain your personal information. It is happening here in North Carolina. Last year, our state attorney general office received over 19,000 scam complaints, and no one is immune. I mean, it's amazing that I mean, not everybody reports. And if they got 19,000 reports, you could probably triple or quadruple it easy. In recent months, both the Iredell and Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office have warned residents to beware of telephone scammers posing as representatives of their offices. These imposters make courtesy calls to warn outstanding judgment or warrants and suggest a quick payment over the phone will spare you being arrested. And we talked about this. You never go for it. So here's a couple of them. It says, ask how to deal with this.
Just put yourself on an automatic payment plan. Just every month they'll charge your credit card. You'll be safe.
Ask for any over-the-telephone requests for money to be sent via U.S. mail rather than paying over the telephone. If you really feel like you owe that money or you do have a warrant or something, send me an email. Do not pay in cash and do not share your PIN with anyone. Check your bank account and credit card statements often and report any transactions you cannot explain. Do not click on links or open attachments in unsolicited emails. Links can download malware into your computer and or steal your identity. Very important, and we talked about that a lot. Never disclose any personal identity information to anyone you do not know or share on social media sites. Review your social media privacy and security settings regularly. If you are meeting someone, always choose a public, highly trafficked area like the local sheriff's office parking lot. If you suspect you may have become a victim of a scam, or if you have witnessed suspicious activity, contact your local sheriff's office immediately. This is good any time of day, anywhere you live in the world, because they're not just working on people in our immediate area. These guys are all over the world, and they're making money. If they're making money, it means people are falling for it, and you know that people are falling for it.
Hello, this is the Mecklenburg County Police Department calling.
Yeah.
Do you have?
I mean, it's just it's hard to believe that at this day and age, people are still falling for it. But they're very creative. They probably go through sheriff's what do you call it when you have the mug shots and all that, and they look who was arrested for what and whatever, and they figure, okay, this is we can go after this and we can go after that. It's just amazing. I mean, even Kathy, my wife, is not tech savvy, but she even laughs when she gets one of these calls, and she got to the point where she strings them a little bit. And it's very interesting that some people can pick it up, and some people, and unfortunately, the elderly are a big part of that victim population, because it's not knowing what's going on in the world, and you need to repeat that to your family every gathering, talk about it.
I was at my brother-in-law's house in Atlanta when he got a call, supposedly from one of our nephews, that he was in jail in Raleigh, right?
Yeah.
And that he had been in a car accident, and he was in a company car. And the story was very plausible, although we thought about who he was and said he would never try to get out from under this. He said he was in jail, needed to pay his bail. He didn't want his employer to find out he had an accident, a DUI, while he was on company time. and needed money for his bail. And why? I'm thinking, I live in Raleigh. Why didn't they call me? They got his name. They got my brother-in-law's name, and the person who called said he was my nephew. Well, maybe I would have recognized it. My brother-in-law may not have recognized that it wasn't him right away, but he had him stringing on. And where are you now? Oh, I'm making my call from the jail, and I need the money. Can you wire the money to me? But the funny part about it was that as my brother-in-law objected, the number went down. Well, how is that? Bail is bail, right?
Yeah.
Did you negotiate a better deal? so then it's like he calls me to say, "What do you think of this?" I said, "Call him. Call my sister. Find out." And it's like, she calls my sister, and this is up in Maine. And she says, "Well, he's sitting right here at the table with me. He's not in North Carolina. He's not in jail." So it was this very, very clever scam.
Yeah.
So they targeted him, right? They had
somehow they had enough
about him.
information. Yes, they had enough information, or they just intimated that they knew some things. Hey, Uncle Bruce, this is so and so. I hate this. I'm really embarrassed about this, but this happened, and I don't want to call my mother because she'll be mad at me, and all this. I don't have any money with me, and was just very plausible at first.
Does he have kids?
He has kids, yeah.
So maybe it's through friends.
It could be through social media. I mean, it could just be going on Facebook and finding open stuff on Facebook about family.
Yeah.
It's called, the grandparent scam is exactly what it is. But they didn't call the grandparents because they're not alive. They called an uncle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, but it's sad that some people fall for it, and you'll never get that money back because they get it in a form that is not controllable.
Yeah.
So be very, very careful.
Never, never. If you get a text message saying, I get this text message every once in a while, like, I'm so-and-so, and I'm interested in buying your property at such and such an address. It's not I don't own that property. I have no idea what they're talking. And it's the wrong name. If I'm wrong, if I got this wrong, please let me know. Like text back.
Yeah.
Well, all you're doing is confirming, I got an actual live text address here now. And same thing with what was the other one that you read? Emails. If you acknowledge anything, just say, please click here to opt out of this email. No, don't. Delete.
I mean, it depends from where. If you have anything from one of the big stores or something, that you can opt out. You can unsubscribe.
Because you'll know.
Yeah. I know. Most people, right.
You just need to spend some time looking to say, I do shop there, and I have bought stuff online there. So the way to do that is, instead of even using the link, is go to their webpage.
Yeah.
Go to the store's webpage and then opt out from there.
Yeah.
Change your email every day.
That's it. It's like I have my credit cards.
Yeah.
you see things about people shopping for the best credit card deals. Well, to me, I pay the balance, right? I don't need to worry about what the rates are and all that stuff. But I look for features that they offer as part of as being a card member with those people. The credit card that I use has really good monitoring. And I get alert every time my card is used and it's not present. I get a text message, how much it was and from who. Every time they suspect anything unusual, and it's happened to me 3 times, where did you just buy software at some game store in London? I said, no. Did you just buy gas in upstate New York? No. Somebody duplicated my card. But they alert me right away. And I say no. And right away, they put a freeze on the card. And the newest thing that they have is one-time use credit card numbers. So if you buy things online, you click and it generates a number for you with an expiration date that's like a month out. It has its own CVC code. You use it once and it can never be used again.
Yeah, well, uh, a service online called privacy.com that does exactly that. Nick
Yep.
told me about it. And I've been using it in some places where
Where you
there's
don't know where it goes.
there's very few sites where I'm okay with leaving my credit card on. Most of the online stores, if they accept PayPal, I just prefer that. But if they don't have that option, then the next best thing is privacy.com, because then privacy.com has my credit card and I need to trust them, right? But nothing that goes out of them remains active after the purchase. And so the control is very well.
Yeah.
One of the nicest thing about privacy.com is the credit card, the temporary credit card that you get, you can put any name and any zip code on it for that single use. They don't care about it. So you don't even need to identify yourself if you're not sure about the store you're using. So it does provide you some added value. But I was about to say that the reason you got your credit card cloned, it's probably those shady Alaska places that you.
That's it.
Yeah,
It's the roadside fur trapper guy.
yeah.
Now,
Come on,
and
you can't really trust a U.S. state that is in Canada. Come on.
That's it.
But back to Gall's point about privacy.com, that's all, that stuff's cool. But I think the coolest part is that you can set either, you can make cards as spent a one-time use, but you could also do a monthly limit, a per transaction limit, or a total limit on the card, like a gift card. You could say this card only has $200, and you just withdraw out of the card, and then when you run out of money, you run out of money on that specific card. Good if you're signing up for trials. That's one trick. If you're signing up for a free trial for something, use privacy.com and set the limit to $1. And then if you forget to cancel your trial, they try pulling some BS on you and auto renew you, and whatever. The transaction will decline and you'll be good to go.
What does privacy cost per month?
it doesn't.
Nothing.
It says try for free. It implies that it's
but there's not. There's
well,
no fee.
maybe they intend to eventually. Well, here it says.
No, they
like
say
credit cards, we make money from the interchange paid by
Yep.
merchants. Okay.
Before you sign up, Spence, let me know. I'll give you a code. It'll give you it'll give you like $5 or something.
Okay. Yeah, I like this. This is
it's great. Yeah.
The one time I got nailed within 12 hours of buying something online. I was buying this, and it was a very plausible retail site. I bought this little drone that I saw advertised on a magazine that I read, and I was like, "Oh, this is great!" It was one of these things that provides station keeping behind you. If you're walking along, you set the drone up, and it will actually fly behind you for 10 minutes and basically video you walking down the trail or whatever you're doing. I said, "This is great," and it was like $125. And it was I saw other ones out there in that same price range, so I ordered it. And within 12 hours, I got the alert that my card was compromised. And I never got the drone. I had to fight it with the credit card company. I disputed it, and the merchant came back and said, "No, it's a valid charge." I said, "That's not what I told the credit card company. That's not what I'm saying." I said, "I never got it. I never received the goods." Oh. So it took me like 3 months to get the credit put back on my card.
Yeah. It's good for ordering like food online and stuff like that. It's great.
Yeah, I'm going to recommend this to my kids too.
I mean,
Yeah. Now the only thing is, now I don't think you actually link your bank. It's not.
it links to your bank.
You don't put a card on there. So if you have like
so it's kind of like using the Cash App or something like that.
yeah. So
it's
depending
like
on
a debit card. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
depending on
Well,
who
that's
your
fine.
bank is, it might be easy. I know Amnon went through hell to get it set up.
Yeah.
But they did work really. Their support was awesome, right, Amnon?
Absolutely. I mean, they didn't find the bank, or they found the bank and it wasn't exactly right and it didn't work. And I sent an email, and a couple of days later, they said, "Okay, we fixed it."
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'm set up on 3 different services like that. I think it's Cash App, Zelle, and Pop Money.
Yeah, I mean, if you have one, that's enough.
Well, no, I
Right?
need it because I
That's
have
some
customers that's
Yeah,
what they pay me with.
that's what I was
So I
saying.
have to be set up on all of them. Like I don't use them all. I only use Pop Money to send money.
So
But
s
I have people that pay me with Cash App and Zelle.
so here, Drac in the chat says about the crooked people in restaurants who actually have your card in their hands are the ones who do
Yes,
that.
they can
Now
clone the card.
yeah, now I've got I always was wondering, I mean, and we don't go out much to eat, so I don't know, maybe they do it like why can't instead of you having to give them your card, why can't they walk around with the, uh, scanner?
They don't. Unfortunately, I always complain about this because in Europe, that's all they do. When I
Why can't you pay on the way out?
you can.
There are places where you
Well,
can.
it's a full service restaurant they don't do that. I love the scanner on the table. You swipe it, you sign, it prints your receipt, and you're done.
You got to remember,
And
a lot of these POS systems are old.
oh
These
yeah,
aren't
they're old.
these aren't
Yes.
new systems because they're crazy expensive. So
I ate in a Himalayan restaurant last night, and
they stole
they
your credit card.
no, I mean I paid. They had a tablet in the front,
Oh, okay, yeah.
swiped it. I did everything, signed with my finger, and everything was off. So the card was always in my hands, which is what I would prefer. So,
Yeah, the trick that the restaurant, not just restaurant people, we don't. I mean, let's not get them all a
Anywhere,
bad
yeah.
rap. It's so it's a little scanner thing, but it'll store like 250 cards at a time. So it's got a built-in cache, like a built-in memory on it. You swipe the card and then you download it to USB, and that's where you can, I assume, hook it up to, I guess there's credit card printers or something you can buy, and make them. So I mean, it's a little black card reader that you can attach to a computer that
Mhm.
will store a couple cards, and that's the scam. It takes no time at all.
and supposedly they're able to fake the chip now too.
Really, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, they don't require PIN numbers. The whole point of the chip was that just verifies it's your card.
Yeah.
But if they can copy that, it's like the transponder on your car key. They can copy it. But the point is the chip was that you were supposed to use it as two-factor authentication. That was the intention. You have the chip and you put in a PIN number that verifies that it's you. So now they did the chip part of it, but that's it. Yeah. So why? Yeah. Alan says, when will U.S. banks start using chip and PIN? I
They
don't
won't.
know.
It's too late now. But people don't. There's people that still don't know how to use the pin. I mean, it's
Well,
too
that's pretty
late.
sad. It's pretty sad.
I mean, I can see, you know, you're talking about having a scanner on the table. I mean, you don't have to have a whole printer and all that. You can have just a scanner, and you can just or one of those that you just swipe the card next to it. You know, you just wave it. What do you call it? You know, that you just kind of touch it to the thing, like they showing that you can check out
Yeah.
and do it like this, and then they'll bring the paper that they printed, and all you do is you just sign it.
Well, it's all about updating their infrastructure, right?
Huh?
Yeah, I mean,
So
what's the worth, right? You
yeah,
really want to spend 30 grand to update your POS system for that? I mean,
They all had to go, most companies, just to say, had to go to the chip system. And that was a big deal at first.
Yeah.
And it was slow and it didn't work very well. And there's very few places you go now that just swipe.
You want to hear something weird? Wendy's doesn't support Apple or Samsung Pay. What's up with that?
probably the cost.
Yeah, but like
I mean, come on.
everybody supports that. How can I could understand mom and pop businesses not supporting it totally makes sense, but a chain as successful and as widely spread out as Wendy's is almost inconceivable.
I would think that would be a franchisee decision, not necessarily a corporate decision from Wendy's, because they have stores that are owned by Wendy's Corp and they have stores that are owned by franchisees.
Okay, I did not know
So,
that.
Yeah, I don't think they're all corporate owned.
Yeah, because I know like McDonald's supports it. I'm not sure about Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A's got their own app where you pay through. Subway was one of the first that supported it. Trying to think of who else, but it was just weird. I was there the other day and I was like an idiot banging my phone against the credit card reader, and she's like, "We don't support that." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Wendy's requires $2 million in liquid assets, $5 million net worth, and $40,000 franchise fee per restaurant, a royalty fee of 4%, advertising fee of 4% if you want to buy a franchise.
That's actually relatively low. Think about that. I mean, those things. You ever been to a Wendy's at lunchtime? I mean, it's a freaking.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's a freaking money printing
But
machine.
they don't make any money off me because I'm a 4 for 4.
Oh yeah, they don't make any money.
I
off me
kill them
either.
with that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, they're not making money off me.
Nope. The best
Unfortunately.
deal.
Once in a
fast
while, I'll
food.
get a salad. But
The best deal in fast food is the Wendy's 4 for 4. I don't care what anybody
and other
says.
people are trying to copy it and not even close.
Yeah, fact. I'm a fast food extraordinaire.
919-518-9773, Computers 2K voice on Skype.
Yeah, please call us. We're talking about fast food at this point.
No,
so-
okay, I got something. I got something here. So the most recent cumulative, yes, there it is. Windows update broke majority of printers all across the world.
Nah, they wouldn't do that.
Yeah. So, I guess the question is what is Microsoft doing or not doing that this is a constant occurrence with either serial devices, printers. I mean,
I think I heard that one of the reasons is that the database of printers that is built into the OS is getting smaller and smaller over time because they don't want to have. Remember how it used to be you went in and looked and all the printers were there?
Yeah.
Pretty much. And what happens when they update the OS, it's not a native printer driver anymore. It's a custom driver that you have to get from the manufacturer. So it wipes it out. They don't think, well, how do we preserve that list of active printers? They just basically clean it off.
So if you're somebody that requires using printing, I would hold off on the Windows update for another 2 weeks because there's going to be a security patch that's coming out that's got a 0-day exploit fix for Explorer or Internet Explorer that they're also apparently fixing the printer issue, which is just inconceivable to me.
And the other thing, remember Amnon when they went to the new release model, how they were saying they were going to be diverting resources from test to developing new features.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see any new features that are that compelling coming out every 6 months.
Well, they
right?
fired QA back in 2016.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
cut it,
They got rid of all the people
90%.
that actually test stuff.
Yeah, and
So-
nobody in their right mind would be stupid enough to run the Windows 10 test builds. Your computer would never freaking work.
Yep.
So I mean, they've totally put themselves in a situation where they want to keep their. We talked about this a whole bunch on this show, and I've ragged on Amnon for years, but not keeping his systems up to date. Of course, when every freaking update breaks your computer, what the hell are you supposed to do?
You're supposed to wait and update it a month later.
Yeah, but see, the point is they've trained people to when you see the update icon come up, update your computer, and then people are trying to follow the good practice of updating their computer, and Microsoft is just giving them a big old middle finger.
Right.
And they make it hard, number one, to change the configuration settings. When you do load a new feature update, it resets everything back to the defaults that says accept automatic updates. You have to go in and find, well, how do I delay feature updates by how many days, and click on those options because they all go back to the default.
At least
But
they give
guys,
you they give you the option to
I know
roll
what
back.
Kyle's going to say. I know what he's going to say.
Somebody needs to test it.
Yeah, and we're the test. Yeah, exactly.
That's the home users, right? The Windows home users.
Yeah.
They don't have a chance.
I will say though,
But that's exactly that, because the
Yeah.
business users have a delayed schedule.
Yep.
That's right.
And that's what I find so frustrating. Not the fact that it breaks on us. It's the fact that they use us as cannon fodder. Come on.
You have hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Yep.
They fired all those people, and they found a whole free user
Pool
group out
of
there to
people,
dump
yeah.
their stuff on.
Yeah.
Try walking into besides getting a Chromebook, right, or a Mac. What retail store are you going to walk into that's going to offer you something other than Windows?
No, they got everybody locked in on that. That's old news. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take time, but it's coming.
What offer would there be?
Probably Linux.
never gonna happen.
Well, Microsoft
Linux
just made
isn't
the.
there. I love Linux, but it's not there.
Apple
It's
just
no,
got up
I
to-
said it's not there, but it will get there.
I don't think it will.
I don't think so.
There's nobody behind it. Who's
Yeah.
even the as user friendly guys as possible, which I guess I would say, God correct me if I'm wrong, Ubuntu has got to be the most like off the shelf user friendly. Is still incredibly complicated.
HP sells.
LXLE is one of the good ones.
I mean, HP sells computers with Linux on it to end
Yeah, but
users.
Yeah,
it's
but the business
usually-
customers.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Business
don't know.
server side stuff.
Don't you remember the video? It was in California, probably about 10 years ago. Some girl was going to college and bought a computer from Dell, and it had Linux on it, and her printer or something didn't work with Linux, and called the news, and it was this big controversy. You guys remember that?
No.
I'll post the video. There's a whole news story on it, and she was like, the typical B-roll of somebody trying to use a computer, just flailing their hands on the keyboard.
They need somebody to test it.
This is
probably made it sound like this person's life was in danger because of the computer. that
well,
they
that's
bought.
kind of what the story was, like a total like hit piece on Dell, and they like called Dell and had some like entrap some support agent. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, and they showed like a dark room with people's faces white, covered up, with their voices altered to say, "Yes, we know we did this."
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
The headline of the story is Ubuntu causes girl to drop out of college. It's terrible.
jeez.
You watch that in your free time. It's a really good story. Highly recommend. I'll repost at the end of the show, but it's funny as hell.
Interesting.
Yeah, good stuff. But
So how much did Ubuntu have to pay to settle that court case?
but I mean
Nah.
But that's the problem. It's never gonna happen. Nobody's behind it. Nobody is pushing.
Not yet. I'd like to think that they will. One of these days to say, okay, you know what? Yeah, here. Time is here. I don't know. It may not. Maybe not in my lifetime, but maybe yours.
I don't know about that.
No. Anyway.
Yeah.
The European Union highest court ruled Thursday that individual member countries can force Facebook to remove what they regard as unlawful material from the social network all over the world. A decision experts say could hinder free speech online and put a heavy burden on tech companies. It will hinder free speech. Like, that's not what Facebook is doing now?
I'm not sure I follow.
I
What
mean-
will hinder free speech? The fact that people can insist on removing their information?
No. I mean, they would say if somebody put any information out there, an article, an opinion, whatever, then individual countries, member countries, can force Facebook to remove what they regard as unlawful material. And they're saying, the experts are saying that could hinder free speech online. I couldn't care less about and put a heavy burden on tech companies because they'll better come up with ways to remove stuff. But I'm here latching to that could hinder free speech online. And it takes me back to Gab, takes me to Alex Jones, all these people that were removed from Facebook by Facebook. Is that not an act that suppresses free speech? So why are you complaining that something like this could hinder free speech? They're already doing it.
Well, what does this really show is that the stupidness of the European Union,
Well,
which is not a surprise.
but it's the same thing with the US. The US sometimes think we can force the rest of the world to do something on the internet, which doesn't work.
Of
Here
course
is
not.
the UA, the EU's thinking that they can force something on the EU. Now, what the EU could do in this case is they can say, okay, you're not going to do it, then uh, France, no more Facebook here.
Yeah,
Forget it.
absolutely. And that's what the whole point of the EU
Yeah,
was, is to
right.
force all their member countries to well, not force, to regulate all their member countries into
Yeah.
doing what they wanted them
I
to
mean,
do.
I mean, it is stupid. I think they should leave things there and let the users decide. Don't tell me what's bad for me. If I don't like it, I won't watch it. If I don't like it, I won't read it. But come on, I mean,
That battle was lost long ago.
yeah.
It's very unfortunate.
But the article is correct. So the EU is saying is if France sees an offensive, something that's offensive to France,
Right.
posted in Facebook, like that that if they decide to, I'll say it very gently, ask Facebook to remove it, right?
Mhm.
That means that Facebook is supposed to remove it from the entire world, and that
Yeah.
is definitely hindering free speech. The fact that Facebook does it on its own, that's another discussion completely, but that has nothing to do with the EU ruling. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
that's
it's clear that the EU has oversight on the EU. So
yeah.
I don't know where the entire world has this coming to, and yeah, it's something.
It is ridiculous. This is why
Yeah, I
this is
don't.
why Nick was
Somehow
saying.
it feels like, yeah, it might be a ruling. I don't think it'll fly, right? I don't think tech company will comply in that same way. They'll probably fight it.
Well, but the thing is, that's where they have something they can bite, is saying, okay, then you cannot be in France, and next you cannot be in Germany, and next you
I
can't.
mean, they can do it, right?
Yeah,
But then
and
they need
Facebook.
to. These are still democratic countries, and they'll need to deal with the user base.
Yeah.
So yes, they can force Facebook out of France.
Right.
It's true, but then they'll need to deal with their voters. So
Yeah, but that will any way you look at it, it's going to hurt Facebook because they're going to lose, even if they don't
on
lose
the short
everybody,
term,
they're going to
yeah.
lose. And I
On the
don't
short
think
term, yeah.
I don't think that I would want to lose over something like that. I mean, if I have a big company like Facebook, you know what? They want me to remove this post. Come on, let's remove that post.
But that's the thing. I think, especially Facebook, with all of the bad press it had in the past couple of years, right?
Mhm.
If something like this comes, Facebook on the short run, they might get hit by being removed from France, right?
Mhm.
But I think Facebook also knows that if they comply the same exact way, so they comply with the rule by saying we're not removing it, right? And we're stopping service in France. I think they also understand that, yes, in the short run, they're going to get hurt. In the long run, the French people, the French users of Facebook, they're going to do the work for them.
Maybe.
I mean, let's ask this: who has the public opinion about Facebook, right? In France, the French users, not the French government.
Correct.
And so, right, and so in a fight like this, it really depends on how everything is framed and what is chosen to be done in that way. And until we'll see a court case like that actually right hit the fan, we won't know. But yeah,
I mean, once the first time will dictate what happens.
Look, we do know that companies censor their by request of the Chinese government, right?
Yeah,
we know that happens. But there, the Chinese government they work completely different than these democratic elected countries, right? Government.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand the court ruling. Somehow it feels like the court ruling won't stick for long.
We'll have, like you said, we'll have to wait.
Yeah,
and
we'll
see.
have to wait. Yeah.
All right, Spence, you ready for specials?
Specials, yes, sir.
Specials.
I am ready for specials.
Ta-da!
And I've been able to work my way back from my forced isolation. And it was revealed to me as I got up there that the actual map of the United States has been altered for hundreds of years now to show that the main part of the United States is actually the lower 48, when that's not really true. This is the true map of the United States, showing the actual land mass. And then the lower 48 is in that small box you see there. It shows one road, one river, and 3 cities. That's actually really what the United States is like. So I want you to understand that the real opportunity for the tech market is to go north. They're putting fiber optics into remote. I couldn't believe it. Into small remote communities in Alaska. They are off of main roads, if you can call it a main road. But small communities of 400 people are getting fiber optic communications. Incredible. So there's the opportunity. Right, guys, ready to move?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Next week. Got some empty cabins we can move right into. No problem. All right. So it's been a while since I did the specials. And I ran into a small glitch. We were talking about this earlier, is that Best Buy has not since August been running a weekly ad. They simply have special or they simply have sale stuff on their webpage. So you don't have an ad anymore to go through. And I don't care if I got a paper ad. I never used a paper ad, but at least have some type of an organized ad on, but they're not doing it anymore. So it made it that much harder to go through and find actual items to I use a program called Snagit to go in and just copy zones on the screen. It makes it very easy. It was very easy for me to put these
it's their loss
together.
It's their
loss. Now notice when I show the retailer, if the color of the circle is different from the retailer letter, it means that it's not part of the weekly ad, because nothing I found on Best Buy was part of their weekly ad because it doesn't exist. So you find the stuff, you don't know if it's a clearance item, if it's good for today, if it's good for a week. So that's what I didn't like about it, because all these other things are good for the next 7 days. So that disclaimer up front, let's attack this. Computers 2K Now specials for October 6th, 2019, starting with Best Buy. They have a HP 14-inch Intel Pentium Gold. That's a quad-core processor. Laptop for $284.99 clearance. It says $15 off, but it is a clearance item, so that means you should buy it, right? Office Depot has a Lenovo IdeaPad L340 15.6-inch laptop. AMD Ryzen 3 processor, 8 gig, 1 terabyte hard drive for $319. That's $160 off. Staples has a Lenovo Flex 14-inch i7, 8 gig of memory, 256 gig solid state drive for $689, which is $210 off. We have $50 off an HP Pavilion Ryzen 3 desktop at Best Buy for $409, save $50. Office Depot has a HP 23.8-inch all-in-one PC, desktop PC with an A9 processor, 8 gig of memory, 1 terabyte hard drive for $499, $180 off. And Staples has an HP Slimline i5. And the new i5 is a 6-core. At least this one was. I made sure I went in and checked. A 6-core i5, 8 gig of memory, 1 terabyte hard drive for $419, save $100. Tablets, they do have a good deal at Best Buy on a Samsung Galaxy Tab A, 10.5-inch, 16 gig, $179.99, $100 off the regular price. And the nice part about this is you can add a SD card to expand the memory here. So 16 gig is not a lot if you're going to have a lot of apps or pictures or whatever, but you can expand it. Office Depot has a MediaTek processor and a Lenovo 11.6-inch touchscreen Chromebook for $269, save $30. And Staples has an Acer Spin 11.6-inch touchscreen Windows machine, $199, save $200, special limited item. Now, the only thing about this that I don't like, it does have a Pentium quad processor, it does have 4 gig of memory, but it does have a 64 gig MMC memory. Well, it's not really a hard drive, it's a solid state drive. Or not the same really as a solid state drive. I would take this machine and upgrade it to a 256, 512 solid state drive for maybe $50, $60. And this is what I did with my Dell machine that I originally bought, very similar to this. But $199, $200 off, good deal, at least a good starting point for a everyday kind of knock around touchscreen Windows machine. Networking. Best Buy has an Insignia 7-port Type-C hub with gigabit Ethernet adapter. So this is a relatively useful device, $64.99, kind of a universal. It's got the Type-C ports. It's got gigabit ports. I don't know what this wider slot is. It looks like it's an SD card port. It's $64.99, 5 off.
Probably because a lot of the new laptops don't have.
Yeah, that's right, exactly right. So you need to have that a Type-C connector and spread it out into some type of hub. So this is useful. Office Depot has a clearance on a D-Link AC dual band USB adapter, $7.92. Just throw this in your kit. I mean, if you do upgrades or you work on repairing machines and you don't have the driver for the network, you can keep this driver on a thumb drive and keep this adapter so you can get off the ground without having to worry about copying things to flash drives. Or even Amnon, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and it's an AC too.
Yeah, you don't have the network driver. You want to start loading drivers, and you can't.
Right.
So you have to burn a CD or you have to put it on and sometimes you don't even get the USB drivers anymore.
Right.
Windows 10, in many cases, doesn't come with native USB drivers. So this is a good way to go here. $7.92, and it is an AC dual band adapter. So even if you want to upgrade an older machine that doesn't have dual band, upgrade an old laptop, upgrade an old desktop, this is a really inexpensive way to go. And Staples has a Netgear 16-port gigabit switch for $89, which is $20 off the regular price. This is the metal chassis one, the indestructible ones. Storage. Best Buy has a SanDisk 512 solid state drive, $69.99. This would be the perfect one to put into that little Acer machine we saw before. Save $20. Office Depot has 16 gig PNY USB 2.0 flash drives for $499, save $5. Staples has a Seagate Backup Plus 6 terabyte USB 3.0 hard drive for $119, save $20. Accessories. Best Buy has a Logitech. This is the MK540. This is a kind of a high-end keyboard mouse combo, $43.99, save $16. I would say it's mid to high end, not quite up there with the top Wave keyboards and all that. But good. Logitech makes good stuff. Office Depot has an IO Gear 2-port USB KVM switch for $24.99. The fact that it's got USB makes it very handy. Good to have if you want to split a monitor between two machines. APC 900 VA battery backup for $79. That's $23 off the regular price at Staples. Monitors. Best Buy has an Acer 23-inch monitor for $99, save $60. Again, I don't know how long these are good for. It doesn't say right in the ad, which is confusing. Office Depot has a 27-inch Dell monitor for $149. That's $100 off. And this is the deal of the day. Staples has an HP curved LED monitor, 27 inches for $149, which is $130 off the price. Printers and scanners. HP LaserJet Pro M29W black and white all-in-one printer for $99, save $30 at Best Buy. Office Depot has a Brother black and white laser printer scanner copier for $139.99, save $20. I always go for the one that's got the document feeder scanner in it because it just makes it so much easier to use. You can put in the high volume toner cartridges in this machine, and the duty cycle's actually very good for home users. And Staples has a Canon image class wireless wireless inkjet printer with mobile print, duplex, printer scanner, fax copier for $124.99. That's $75 off the regular price. Home automation and security. We have at Best Buy the Wemo 3-way light switch 2-pack. Most of the Wi-Fi switches you'll see will be 3-way, optional 2-way. They don't make some of them make 2-way switches. And I remember buying or setting up a network for somebody where they actually distinguish between the 3 and 2-way, and it was like $1 or $2 difference. Just buy the 3-way ones. Comes in, it's more handy. You will run into 3-way switches in your home if you have stairways or a light that's controlled from more than one location in your kitchen or whatever. You will have to have at least one 3-way switch in order for that system to work right. So $79, 10 off at Best Buy. Office Depot has a Ring doorbell, the basic doorbell. This is, now keep in mind, this is the wide original form factor. So you may have fit issues with your the layout of your current doorbell. But for $99, you can get started with a Ring system. And Staples has an Amazon Echo, a second generation for $119. That's $30 off the regular price. But wait, there's more. Staples has the Logitech K375S wireless keyboard and stand. Now, what's different about this is you notice in the upper left side, there's 3 buttons. That's to select between 3 different Bluetooth devices. And what it does is it spoofs the connection so that as you press those different buttons, it doesn't break the connection with that device. It just selects from a keyboard perspective which device is active. So if you are in a multitasking environment, you've got a tablet, you've got a phone, and you've got a computer, and you want to switch between the 3 with a single keyboard, this takes away the need for a KVM switch. Well, leave out the V part of it, a K switch. $49, save 20. Staples also has a new chair for your Amnon. I think you should go get this.
Mm-hmm.
Leather gaming chair for $119. That's $80 off the regular
What
price.
game do I have to play?
You don't have to play any game. It's all a game anyway. You know that. It's all a game. Get a couple of these and let us know what you think, and we'll go get one after you get them. Do a test. Office Depot has a Nest Thermostat E for $169. Don't know if that's a good deal. I just picked the first thing I could find that was home automation. They also have a Samsung 16 gig micro SD card for $792, and that's was $29.99. So that's a good deal. It's not a lot of capacity, but for the price, if you need to maybe bump up a phone or a tablet, have a little more storage, or use it for a camera, I mean, 16 gig is nothing to
it's one
sneeze at.
shot.
But also, this is something also, Amnon, could you get one of these for each of us and write it off to the show?
It's not going to make you cool, though.
No, it says pure cool. 400 square feet tower, purifier. Damn, that's expensive, isn't it?
I
It's
know.
normally $500, but it says air purifier too. So definitely uses ionization to create the airflow. So one of the side effects of ionization is it purifies the air. Clever. $279, $220 off the regular price. So if you had to have one, you've arrived. So, all right. Finally, at Walmart, they do have Apple Watch Sport refurbished for 108 to 139, I guess, depending on the type of band it comes with, 2-day delivery. And they also have, this is actually a good deal. I have Zomoto cameras. They're very easy to add to your Zomoto environment using their app. And it doesn't matter that some of them are connected through a DVR, an NVR, some of them are connected through Wi-Fi. They'll all show up on that account to manage. This is Zomoto 720 indoor security cameras, 2-pack, $39, normally $59.
But you still have to provide power, right?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
You do have to provide power. Yes. But I would use these indoors. I mean, they're indoor cameras. They're not meant for outside. So put a couple of them in, top of a cabinet or whatever. And it's easy to use. The fact that they've got 2-way audio is nice. You could use it for a baby monitor. You could hide one in the closet somewhere and scare somebody by talking from the closet during the middle of the night. It'd be a lot of fun. All right, that's it from 2K Now specials for October 6th, 2019.
Well, thank you, Spence.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
When will I get my check?
It's already in the mail.
It is already? Okay.
Yeah, it's already
I'll
in the
be
mail.
standing at the mailbox waiting.
All right. 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. Here is something else about cable. A Consumer Reports analysis of cable bills found that companies add $37.11 per month in fees to the average bill, raising consumers' actual cost way above the advertised price. The $37.11 in fees created by the cable industry add 24% to the average base price of $156.71 a month. That does not include another $13.28 in government-related taxes and fees, which raise prices even higher. With the proliferation of add-on fees, it's nearly impossible for a consumer to find out the full cost of a cable package before they get locked into a contract. And the cable companies count on it. It's all kind of fees. If you look at it, what is this? Oh, we have to charge it. Oh, we have to charge that.
Remember the magician they had on the Gong Show years ago? He'd get up there, he'd go da 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 da
No.
da da da.
Oh.
It's like he was taking every normal things and making it. It's like, wow, that's exactly what this is.
Yeah, but that's
Don't-
amazing. And something happened last week. Japan sole pager provider Tokyo Telemessage Inc. will shut down radio signals for its services Tuesday, ending support for the device first introduced in the country half a century ago.
Wow.
No more pagers. They still use pagers in hospitals here, right?
Doing it?
What?
They only have one provider doing it?
I don't know, but don't we? They only had that one, but don't the hospitals still use them?
Oh yeah, and one of the reasons they use them is because the environment they're in is so RF intensive, and there are areas that have blockages because of X-rays and all that kind of stuff. That most devices don't work everywhere in the hospital, but they can use pagers because of the frequencies that they use, because they can penetrate through.
Uniform.
Leaded. I won't say if they're going to get into the X-ray room, but there's so much interference in a hospital that it's the most reliable way to get some people
Page,
when they need them.
Attention.
The other group that still uses paging systems are the
drug
power
dealers.
utility.
Huh? What?
The power utility.
Yeah, because it stays up even when the power goes out.
Yeah, so they use that. A lot of their monitoring is done via. It's not via paging. Essentially, they've got these devices and they operate paging networks. And,
SCADA systems.
yeah, maybe that's the acronym.
Well, SCADA, it's the control system for power plants and utility systems. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know down here in Wilmington, there's a couple of companies that operate paging systems, and their only customer is Duke, and Duke is getting that paging service for their power grid. So yeah, I mean, there's still use for it. It's cheaper than cell phones or having a cell connection everywhere.
Nick, did Amnon tell you about Zello yet? That walkie-talkie?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Really cool.
Zello's cool. Yeah,
works nice.
Go tell everybody else.
Yeah.
No, can't tell them.
Yeah, you have to.
No, actually, Zello is a Android and iOS app that gives you Nextel like walkie-talkie functionality. You do need a data connection, but it's push to talk. But the way it works is you hold down the button, it's recording, but it doesn't wait to send the packet till you're done. It actually starts to send the stream to the intended recipient. And it can be one-to-one or one-to-many, so it does support conference calling. It's actually pretty good for a support. Like say you have two people working on a problem somewhere, and you don't want to have a phone call open all the time as you're checking through things. Works just like the old Nextel system did.
Or like any walkie-talkie.
A walkie-talkie would do, but it's in your phone.
Yep.
I mean, I actually have what do you call it? The little FRS radios that I would use sometimes, but it was always a pain in the neck. You had to keep them charged, have them with you. It's a separate thing to have. Now, granted, you still have to have the phone in your hand and press the button, but it's something you have with you all the time. Try it. Zello, Zello. I know it's just like Zillow, the real estate people, or Zelle, the payment people, but it's Zello, Zell.
All right. If you're in the market for a new computer, Intel is whacking the prices of its high-end i9 processors as it refreshes an aging design. For example, last year's top-end Core i9 9980XE costing $1,990 at retail is replaced by the 979 Core i9 10980XE.
How many cores?
9. Well, Core i9.
You said 900 cores.
Yeah, right.
I was like, wow,
No.
that's incredible.
I think it's still just I don't know if it's actually a 9 core. I have no idea. I think it's 6. I know the 8th generation is still 6.
So this is a data center.
The new chips are due to arrive in November. People were stuck in the top part of the mainstream, unwilling to pay a lot more money for a bit more performance, said the vice president of Intel's client computing group. It's also cutting prices of the chips used in the related but more corporate high-end market workstation. The price cuts are as deep as 50%. They're saying, that it's because they are redesigning an aging design, refreshing it. I think has a lot to do with what AMD is doing.
AMD, yeah.
Yeah.
AMD is definitely pushing the envelope now.
Yep.
It's funny how this race never changes, right?
It's back and forth and back
Yeah.
and forth.
Since the 90s, it's
Yeah.
exactly the same race.
And it's good for us.
Yeah, and everybody's always surprised. But I think it's the surprise comes because AMD is, compared to Intel, it's a small outfit, right?
Yeah.
They cannot deal with the same volume that Intel deals with,
Right.
but they do come up with innovations every once in a while, and then they edge a bit forward, and then Intel figures out how to move forward on their end. But yeah,
AMD doesn't. They do a good job.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say AMD does a good job of leveraging their GPU market.
Yeah.
Yeah. They always do.
Yeah. And not only that, is AMD always does like something in the design that like Intel probably should have done way back and could have done it, but until AMD pushes the envelope like that, Intel just stays complacent, and then they just refresh the design, right? So it's like, yeah, the small guy is the innovator.
Yeah,
and yeah.
Hannah
i9, by the way, the minimum core count is 10 cores.
Really?
So yeah, 10 and goes up to 18. Depends on which one you buy.
Hannah was told by her professor and some other people in the lab where she's at NC State that she needs to get something in the neighborhood of a Surface book. And now Microsoft announced that their new Surface, they have new Surface models. One of them has a Ryzen, was it 9?
Yep.
And I sent her the article and she said, yeah, but that's an AMD. I said, well, so
now they're better.
Yeah.
The the AMD is it called the Rome? I think is their new like Xeon equivalent. This freaking thing has got like 24 physical cores. I mean, it's nuts. And it's the Xeon equivalent is like $11,000, and this thing is like $5,500. It's less than half the price and blows this whatever that Xeon is out of the water. It's pretty incredible. They're kicking ass. It's great. I mean, this is so good for us, the consumer. It's going to be fantastic. Next couple of years is good. When Intel releases their newest chipset and the price has to come way down to compete with Ryzen, it's going to be awesome.
The thing that when she called me, she said, okay, I got your article, but will it run that program that they're telling me that needs? And I'm saying, honey, it'll do everything that Windows does. Anything that Intel does, sorry.
Yeah.
If you need to run it will run it. And they're good at testing their stuff. They're great at testing their stuff. They spend the time to make sure that everything is right. And this makes it, and since it's also cheaper, look at this. So it's it'll be interesting to see how they do. What was the article? Microsoft announced a bunch of stuff in the event, including a dual screen device. No, that's not the same article. Yeah. No, that's about the Android. I didn't save the other article, but it's amazing what they have coming out this month or came out.
Speaking of
Yeah, that's what this is about.
Yeah, they're.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's nothing else to say. They've got a new phone that folds in half. It's about the size of the mini iPad, but it folds, and it's still running their crappy Windows. They've changed the name of it now. Now they're going back to like Windows Mobile.
No.
What?
Nope.
What do you mean now?
They say Microsoft announced a bunch of new stuff.
No, an Android phone.
Dual screen device running new Microsoft NX, the Surface earbuds, and the Surface Laptop 3. And then out of nowhere, it hits us with a dual screen phone that runs Android.
Oh, I didn't.
Microsoft new Surface Duo is a dual screen device running the Android operating system.
Well, that's probably, I mean, Microsoft, did they buy Nokia or they just partnered with them?
For the Lumias, I think they just made the phones. I think
they
Nokia
will be
still owns
crazy to run Windows on a phone again after that big failure that they
they tried it with the Lumia hardcore. I mean, they were all in.
The nice part about the Duo, it is not one of these folding screen phones.
No.
It is literally just two screens with a hinge.
Yeah.
So,
and they said that the device has two 5.6-inch screens powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 processor. Each screen can run two different apps. Each screen runs two different apps at the same time. Or the Duo can be turned into landscape mode, allowing the second display to be used as a keyboard or game controller. The version of Android on offer here looks heavily skinned to resemble a version of Windows. So they're trying to make it look like Windows.
Hey, Android users, I heard you like Windows, so we put the window in your Android.
I mean, what is Microsoft thinking?
they're thinking that this was going to cost about $1,500. That's what they're thinking.
Yeah, there's no prices here, so
they haven't
wondering.
had a decent mobile phone since like the early 2000s.
And that's only because everybody else has sucked.
I don't know why
exactly.
I don't know why they feel like they have to get into the phone business.
Because they just have to piss their money away on something, I guess.
Well, because they want to have the one-stop shop from phone to data center running the same stuff. They want to have an integrated ecosystem of software, which is what they've always wanted to have. And they can't because they have their silos developing different things. And now they come out with an Android phone.
Yeah. Which defeats the whole purpose of having the ecosystem. Because if it's just an Android phone, you can use anything else.
Well, to be fair, right? Their Android applications are usually the best in their area. So their Office apps they put the Google apps to shame. And we're talking Android, right? And they have a great it's like a phone scanner. They call it Office Lens.
Mm-hmm.
That is probably the best phone-based scanner solution right now, where you can snapshot something, because of perspective, something square becomes skewed. It knows how to fix that. It knows how to color correct it. It knows how to save it as a document. And their Android apps are pretty good. So they are definitely very involved in the Android ecosystem at this point. So maybe it's not such a bad move. They figured out, they can't make it on their own. They are not going to create their own OS. So at least they'll use something that they can, contribute to and get a piece of.
Which makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Every once in a while, a company like Microsoft takes a step in the right direction. That doesn't happen a lot, but
and here's another step in the right direction. At Microsoft annual Surface Press last week, the company announced the Surface earbuds to rival Apple's AirPods and Amazon's newly announced Echo Buds. what's unique about the Surface Buds is that unlike the other two wireless earphones, they can be used with Alexa, Bixby, Google Assistant, Siri, and any other competitor, not just Cortana. Now, I don't understand. If you have Nick and you have the Apple Buds, right?
Yeah, I'm privileged. Mhm.
Will it only work with Siri?
So Gal asked me about this, and I haven't. I'm going to test it today because now I have an Android phone that I can use. I have read articles of people that say that the Apple AirPods are the best headphones for Android. I don't know if I don't know. I'm going to try it today. Write it down. Remind me for next week. But I'm going to try to pair my. I'm not going to try. I'm going to pair my AirPods to my
Yeah.
S9 and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean it's Bluetooth, isn't it?
Well, it is Bluetooth, but a part of it is the system integration. And this is an interesting move by Microsoft because these I don't know what I don't think they announced a price point on
No.
these. But they've got a very interesting design. They don't have the long stem like the Apple AirPods do. They're essentially just like little saucers that pop out of your ears. So yeah, I mean this is good. This is good. This is
No,
good.
what you have to use these, what you have to do is have that earlobe surgery where they open it up and they're little rings and you stick them in there. That's how they work.
Yeah, they hang in there.
Yeah.
Like earrings. Uh-huh.
Let's just do
Looks
it.
good.
Well,
See. Do AirPods work on Android? Will AirPods work on my Android phone? Let's see what this guy has to say about it. Conclusion. AirPods sound, they will work. I mean, this is such a useless article.
I mean, the best thing is for you to try
Yeah.
and see.
How to use Apple AirPods to activate Google's Assistant or Samsung Bixby. You download an app, AirPods for GA. I guess that's some sort of app that converts it, which of course is no longer available in the App Store. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week. And Nick, you want to talk about the PlayStation?
Oh yeah. So everybody now has got video game streaming services. Microsoft's got one with Xbox. It's called Game Pass, and Sony's got one with PlayStation called Game Pass. And essentially, you pay a monthly subscription, and you get access to a whole bunch of games. Typically, they're older games, but Sony's just cut the price in half of theirs. It was $19.99, which was double the price of Microsoft's. And they are now offering their Sony streaming game service for $10, which is pretty. So
Yeah, they're dropping prices.
yeah, well, they have to. I mean, there's Microsoft is offering more up-to-date games, and in my opinion, better games for half the price. And it didn't make sense.
No.
At $20 a month is a lot of money. I mean, you think about if you're buying a video game, a new game, a AAA title that comes out. So you're going to go into a Walmart or GameStop. That game's $60. So and with Sony's new price drop and what Microsoft's already offering, the price of those are 2 brand new AAA titles a year, $120. So it's pretty compelling. And Microsoft's doing a much better job of bringing new games to Game Pass is what Microsoft calls it. So they're bringing new titles to Game Pass on launch, which is very interesting. And I think signals a lot towards the future of physical media and actually owning the game, which I'm very weary of, but that's the direction the industry is moving. So
a year is like $5 a month if you get a year.
no, a year is
It says finally a year's PS Now membership. Is that not the same thing?
I'm not
It
sure.
says it's
No,
$60.
PS Now is the streaming. No,
I don't know.
Yeah.
you're talking about a like a game subscription.
I'm talking about the subscription service for PlayStation Now, which is what they just cut the
Yeah.
price on.
This quarterly
Oh, okay.
subscription will
It's
now
a hun-
cost 25, having previously been 45. And finally, a year's PS Now membership is now $60, down from 100.
Interesting. So they must give you a deep discount if you buy a year at a
Yeah.
time instead of doing a monthly thing. That's a
But
pretty good
they
deal.
only mention PS Now in that yearly, so I don't know what PS Now means.
PS Now is their game streaming
Okay, so that's what
and/or
it is. Yeah, so
subscription service.
it was 100. Now it's 60.
Yeah, but the monthly subscriptions are $10. So if you buy it
Yeah.
month to month, it's $10. So weird pricing model.
But it used to be 20. So that's
correct.
You know, why would you do it just for a month? I guess to try or something.
Well, I mean, some people don't want to spend $60 on
No,
one shot, I guess.
I don't know.
But as far as I know, the PS Now, I don't know about anything about Xbox Game Pass, so I'll read about that later. But the PS Now, it gives you streaming, but it gives you streaming to older platform games.
It does. There's a lot of that, but they're trying to bring newer games to that service, and because that's what Microsoft is doing with Game Pass is they're having relatively new and if not same day launch exclusive titles available on their Game Pass service, which with that being the case, there's literally no point of buying the game. If you can stream it, especially if it's a single player game that you're not going to be playing all the time. Once you beat it, you're done. It kind of defeats the whole purpose of buying the game outright. So this is the way that the industry is moving. So I'm going to have to hop on board.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, for gamers, it probably makes a lot more sense. It probably even makes a lot more sense for casual gamers.
Yes, for
just
casual
want to
gamers.
switch. Want to switch around through the games. Yeah.
The frustration with this is like everything else, and it's no different than Spotify or Netflix. But you can't stop. And the reason they do this is they entrap you, right? You can't stop paying for this. That once you stop paying, all of your games are
Right,
gone.
you lose it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's and that's no different than Spotify or anything else. But I think it's a little bit different when it comes to the video game market, because if you're, I own games that I've owned for years, and if I want to play them, I just pop them in my system and they play. So maybe that's not a real issue. It's just me being extremist about it. But I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's the old method versus the new one.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we understand why they're doing it. They're going to make a lot more money out of it. We're going to pay more, but we're also going to get a lot more, right? So
ideally,
yeah, it won't remain 20 something per year though. That's to hook us into the
$100, $60 a year is too low in my opinion. I mean,
but that's probably not including PS Plus. So
no, that's not
for PS Plus, right?
Yeah.
And the same goes for Xbox.
Correct.
So there's always the 60 something bucks just to be part of the network and be able to do things online, which I mean, I get and I don't get. It's like I don't get how it became a thing, and then the subscription for games. Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
Which is a perfect segue here. Now, I'm not going to read the whole article, but a Montreal legal firm has requested authorization to launch a class action suit against Epic Games, the makers of Fortnite, and it's because they claim it's addictive. Can you believe this?
Yep.
It's
yeah.
Amazing.
We live in a very screwed up time culturally.
Yeah. Here's one good thing I see that I mean, this has nothing to do with computers. but we also what's happening in uh, all kind of protesting around the country, where those Antifa guys cover their face around. The Hong Kong government is banning masks and face paint in an attempt to stop pro-democracy protesters that have been raging. So you're going to get jail, or you're going to get a big fine, $3,200, if you are covering your face during a protest. Now, yeah, they're doing it to squash the good guys, but this is what they need to do here, I think.
No.
Why?
You're
Tell me why not. Why do you want those guys to walk around?
Okay, hold on. So you think that the police officers in these situations that are allowing these people to attack people, beat them up, throw things at people, and not charge them are going to charge them for wearing masks on their faces? These people are already committing felonies.
Yeah, I know.
In some cases. So this isn't going to do a damn thing. What that doesn't make any sense.
But just the fact that you do cover your face.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. They don't. These people are looting in some cases.
Yeah.
Looting, rioting, attacking people. I mean, hitting them with bike locks and bike chains, and the police aren't doing a damn thing.
Right.
So what the hell's you're gonna make it illegal? Oh, don't wear a mask, or we'll do what? Throw you in jail? And these people are already committing, in a lot of cases, felonies.
Let's talk about the reason of the mask, right? The reason of wearing the mask is to, first of all, be present in a protest like that, right? And not being identified by big government who uses facial recognition software. So not being tagged for just taking part in the demonstration.
Right.
Now you're going to target everything who's wearing the mask, regardless of what they're doing. That's oppression, right? You do not want the demonstration to happen. So you're going to target anyone you cannot tag and identify and track, even though the protest is probably exactly about that, about freedom of speech, about freedom of demonstration. So, yeah.
Maybe the ordinance should be if you commit any type of a crime while wearing a mask.
Yeah, it can be an additional thing on, right? You're doing a crime and you're hiding the crime, right? So definitely just add to it that you came with intent. That'll be like a base that shows the intent behind it. Most of the people, and as Nick said, right, it's the action that needs to be prosecuted.
Yeah, but it's not anyway. So what the hell's the point?
Did anybody see the testimony by this young woman analyst from the Heritage Foundation in front of Congress this past week about guns?
No.
It's a 5-minute listen to, but it was great because she talked about how they want to ban what the so-called assault weapons. She says in most police departments nationwide, these weapons are categorized as defensive weapons because that's what they are. They're not used to go out and attack people with. They are there to protect people. And she gave the description. She says her mother was not a big gun fan and got her to actually go with her to the range and used a pistol. And she had horrible, all over the place, could not control the pistol whatsoever, useless for personal protection, right? Gets her out there with a rifle, one that had good grips on it and all that. Center of mass, like within 3 inches at 50 yards. Unbelievable what she did because it was something she could hold and control. So the point of this is that you're putting a regulation in place that is going to penalize the law-abiding citizens. Like Gal was saying, like if you wear a mask because you have a cold and you're walking through an airport, bam, you're going to get picked up by facial recognition and tracked. But you do it because you have a cold. So the same thing here. People are going to be penalized for emotional reasons or political reasons when the intent of something is completely different from what you're reading.
Let's remember, everything that has to do with freedom of speech is really fickle, right? Because freedom of speech means that you also need to support those who say what you don't like.
Exactly.
Right. And yeah, and we need to protect that, because that's the only situation where we're going to be able to keep speaking freely about anything. And so,
Because if the public opinion will be what decides it. It's like that's what's the quote? I may not like what you're saying, but I will defend your right to say it.
right.
So if you get people out there and you get the two different opinions side by side, and the first person makes their case and the second person makes their case, people will decide which one they agree with. You don't have to prevent one from talking because maybe one group is afraid, no, we can't let that word get out there because it'll affect the people that believe what we believe. So,
right. And I mean, we can agree that public opinion, right, it's probably not the best thing in the world, but right now it's also not the worst thing. So
no, if you stifle it, the way to fix it is to have an open, honest discussion.
Right.
Yeah, but look, but remember what Amnon said. Amnon, I agree with you completely. The problem I have with this thing in the U.S. is that the people in certain cases, people that are wearing these masks are already committing crimes and not getting charged with them. So making it a crime to wear a mask and commit crimes when you're not going to charge them with committing a crime anyway.
Maybe what it should add is to say this becomes an automatic add-on of yet another charge because
irrelevant.
Irrelevant. I know.
Nobody's enforcing
it. There needs to be some way to.
These guys are hitting people with train stakes and chains with bike locks on them and beating them senselessly.
Yeah.
And the police aren't doing a goddamn thing about it. And
that's a different fundamental issue.
Yeah, but that's the point. So what's the difference?
It's the same thing as I think we talked about it yesterday about this signal, right, being banned.
Some group came out. The Anti-Defamation League says it.
Yeah. Come on.
This is the insanity of
censorship.
Number one, reading people's minds in advance and saying, "Well, I know exactly what you mean by everything you do." No, you don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Well, there are those who would like to live without cynicism and without sarcasm, right?
Yeah. Well, I'd be. What a dull life it would be.
Exactly.
Dirtbag says Gall's a racist. I'm going to petition for Gall needs to be banned off the show. He is offending me.
I am not a racist. I hate everyone exactly the same.
All in favor say aye. Aye. It's unanimous. Sorry, Gall.
We took an internet survey and Gall, sorry.
Yeah. I like everyone named Dirtbag.
Okay.
Oh, very good move.
Solid move. That's a
all right.
That was sarcasm, yeah?
Yeah.
But you know what? One encouraging thing is you don't realize how many people there are out there that feel the same way that we do.
Fact.
Whatever you think about life and all that, they still have the same sensibility when it comes to this. So we're overwhelmed by the media that makes it sound like everybody agrees with them, which is not true.
Well, I'll tell you what, Spence. If you know any single young girls that have the same opinion, please let me know, because that's been quite a struggle for me. I'm telling you what. Right. I don't disagree with you, but they typically tend to be
airheads,
older white individuals. So I'm just saying it's not that.
You just need to switch your demographic. You need to go out with older white dudes. That's all.
Spence, what are you doing today? You want to go to lunch?
Well, I have an appointment down at the mall. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, it's time.
Yeah, gotta go.
That fast.
Yeah, I gotta head up to Raleigh.
That's it.
All right, guys. Anything else fast that anybody wants to
no, sir.
mention? All right.
Against the Norm's coming back in a couple of weeks.
Who?
I'm working on Against the Norm.
Oh,
I'm working on trying to get it listed on some different streaming services for good usability. So stay tuned.
Okay. About time.
I know.
just think of us, Nick. We'll be part of your pool of guests if you need some.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna need it.
Absolutely.
We can rant and rave as much as you want.
Great. That's all I do. So works out.
All right.
Is that
So-
that
What?
right wing talk show that
Yeah,
I
that's
heard
the
about?
alt-right talk show.
Yeah,
Right,
right.
just scream obscenities.
You have to
For
wear
2
masks. You have to wear a mask when you're on the show, right?
Well, check Alex Jones. He's looking for more content. No,
Band.video. Check it out. That's what it should be.
that video.
That's the URL. It's a great band.video.
Yeah, let's check.
It
Probably
is.
wanna-
cost
I wanna
$500
be-
or something.
No, he owns it. That's his platform.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, band.video.
I
Nice.
want to be the next crazy UFO guy with the hair that stands out, big like that.
Call George Norrie. You'll be good to go.
Yeah.
See what you did. Now I'm probably flagged by the government.
All right, Emma, get us out of here. Hurry.
All right.
We're diving fast.
Here we go. So, good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Dana. Thanks, Nick, Spence, Gal. We hope, thank you for turning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. See you next week, everybody.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.